it's actually, I can't even say it's a better place at certain times. And today, the only thing that is a positive is that even from across the ocean, the crew is back together for another episode of your favorite podcast of mine. Don't sleep on the couch. It's your man 50 Grand Hadrico back in the building here in the land of America. And across the ocean to my right, center, front, virtually,
I'll take
we
it.
have?
I'll take
Okay.
it. It's your boy Cash, aka Exec P. What's good, man? What's good, man? Glad to have you back, brother.
Yeet. You got to throw it to the
Oh,
other side of the ocean.
shit. Start all over.
See, I thought I'm supposed to be the one that's rusty. Okay, whatever.
I thought he was just gonna
Ladies and
come
gentlemen, children
in.
of all
I thought
ages.
Go.
Okay, y'all ready yet? I thought y'all was ready. Y'all talked all this shit. Now, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, ain't no mountain far enough. Damn it, I got to change that again.
See,
but I want to go with
just go with Old Faithful.
Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast. But
Ooh, that boy shooting blanks, boy.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm zen. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to another favorite episode of your podcast of mine. Don't sleep on the couch. It's your man, 50 Grand Hadrico. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no ocean wide enough to keep us apart. The crew is back together. It's your man, 50 Grand. And across the ocean, the Atlantic, I'm not very geographical, whichever ocean that is in between us, in front to my center, I have.
Yes. It's your boy Cash, aka Exec P, and to my right,
you got Mr. Prez still in the building, people.
What's good, man? We miss you, man.
Hey, man, listen, man, I miss y'all too, man. You know, out here in Viva Las Vegas, it's hot. I'm talking about, I think the devil is stationed here, man. It is unnaturally hot.
We can tell.
Yeah. We can definitely tell. We can definitely tell.
I couldn't wait to get there. You just opened yourself up for it, man.
Yeah.
Light-skinned people always got jokes. And Prez, I know you ain't talking.
Hey, I ain't there. I'm still keeping the couple shades. It's cold here.
Oh man.
Listen, you're right. You definitely are not here. You haven't gotten the millennium. You know, here I go. You know, already starting.
Already gonna make up a word.
But you don't got to have what we got shaved, and I'm not even gonna cut that joke. I'm gonna just let you live and let you have your moment, fellas. Man,
that's what I'm saying. You don't know what's going on.
Then,
I may have to do this for work. I may, I may just want to feel younger.
No,
I
you
don't
didn't.
know what the hell reason
He
I
did
did it.
He did
It didn't work.
And he was just clowning me
It didn't work.
last week because I nicked myself, you know. And then he was like, "Ooh, look at you." Then what happens the very next week? See, that's karma, man. That's karma.
It happens.
Look here. I hear looking like somebody's little nephew. But look, man, I'm not gonna go there with you. I'm not gonna go there with you. What I am gonna do is say, man, I know we having a good time here, but man, on a serious note, 2020, man, I feel like this is like the season finale of a horrible TV show, and we just keep getting hit episode after episode of nothing but tragedies. And it's no secret this week has not been any different. And I'm gonna throw it over to you guys as we transition into this, because this week we got hit with a bombshell. And I'm speaking none other than the death of Chadwick Boseman. Fellas, before I give my 2 cents, I'll throw it over to you. Where did this hit you at, and how did you feel about this? Because there's no need to dance around it, but Prez, let's start with you, Prez. How are you feeling on this?
Well, I want to take it back too, because I feel like it was two tragedies, that happened over this week since the last time we potted. You had Jacob Blake. That tragedy happened, and man, another one. How many times we're gonna have to approach that topic before something actually starts to change? I think the NBA players did the right thing, stopping, pausing completely, highlighting the issue, because if they didn't, I don't think it would even have got to the level that it did. I don't think some of the changes that happened, one of the things are going to be, I know NBA is going to give the arenas up for voting stations.
Yeah, that was one of their demands. Yep.
Yeah. So that's going to happen. But I don't have the answers on what we got to do, but something's got to change. It's got to. How do you feel being back there and now like you're not over here no more. You're back in the States. What's the difference? Is it a different vibe? Do you feel a little bit more shaken or anything about going to the day-to-day or getting pulled over by the cops?
First off, both topics deserve their own conversation, and let's dive into each one, because I don't want to disrespect either one of them, because I believe both of them have shaken our communities for different reasons. So if we're going to delve into the Jacob Blake arena, and because it needs to have its own time frame. Number one, there's two sides of this equation. Number one, that action of that officer was uncalled for. Make no mistake about it. I don't condone it. I don't agree with it. It's sickening to watch. I'm not going to justify or say why this young man decided to walk around the vehicle. Knowing the climate of the society that we are in, I'm not going to say he was wrong, right, or indifferent. I'm going to say, hey, what the ending actions was just uncalled for. What the NBA players chose to do, it was a powerful statement, but I'm on the other side of the equation when I truly, and this is up for debate, Jim, and I really look for the conversation. What was the purpose of them doing that? It was the purpose to say we're going to get attention to what's going on by not playing a game of basketball for 2 days, because the second they say we're not going to give you a salary, you go back on the court and play. I think you lost the momentum that you tried to build when you do this. Now, I'm saying this as somebody who absolutely loves to watch basketball. So don't get it mistaken. I would love to see the Miami Heat win the championship just like anybody else. Y'all know how crazy I get about my favorite team.
You sound real crazy right now. When they're not going to win. Go ahead.
We know, and that's debatable, but we'll go into that later. But what I'm saying with it is you make this powerful statement. You come out and you do this and you say, we're not going to play, we're going to sit. Now, in my time of watching sports, I can't remember a time where a predominantly Black sport did something as united as saying, hey, you know what? We're not going to take the court. We're not going to take the field. So in that stance alone, it was powerful. And you see people all across, oh, I'm so proud of the NBA players, so proud of the NBA players. But the NBA did. Kenny Smith walking off the TV. Chris Webber's statements, that was probably the most prolific I've ever heard Chris Webber speak in the entire time. I used to think he was a horrible commentator. I actually look forward to hearing him talk now. So that's how impressed I was. But I was actually dejected when I saw, as soon as they said, okay, well, we're going to donate your salary, or we're going to take away your salary, we came to, oh, okay, well, you know what? We're going to play again. Now, can we blame them? I don't know. But then how truthful was the protest in that sense?
So from my perspective, Hud, I think if you look at it in this lens, maybe you would have a different perspective based on how we all going through this in real time. The same way you don't have the answers, Prez don't have the answers, they don't have the answers. I think at a certain point, these things hit them the same way they hit us. So in particular, the Milwaukee Bucks was the first team to play that night. You know what I mean? That very next day after everything happened. So you can imagine what frame of mind those guys were in. And you got to keep in mind, a lot of those guys are our age, maybe and younger. You know what I mean? But the younger generation right now is like, enough is enough. I don't think they have the answers either, but I think they needed to pause to gather themselves. I'm not saying that they have the answers. Nobody has all the answers because we're still at start. You know what I mean? You know, back in the 60s and 70s, we were marching and trying to do everything just to get an entry way into society and to be viewed as equal. We still really haven't gotten there yet. And I think all that culminated with them just taking a pause to be like, to gather themselves, figure it out. You know what I mean? And it happened all in real time. As you can see with all the coverage, these guys weren't really they didn't really have a plan. You know what I mean? So I can't really blame them. They just stopped. They started doing their talks, kind of similar to our job. When we found out that racial disparity report, we had to stop, damage control, try to figure things out. And we still don't have it right in what we do in our job. We're just figuring it out as we go. So I think if you view it in that lens, then you would kind of see that, yeah, they have to go back to work. We have to go back to work. You know what I mean? Like, we go through tragedies in our own lives. we eventually got to go back to work because we got to still feed our families. They still got a job to do. You know what I mean? So I don't think looking at athletes to sit out the rest of the year is something that's realistic. You know what I mean? They have goals and aspirations too, and they're trying to win a championship as well, all these different teams. So I'm not really faulting them for that. I think a lot of the things and the demands that came out that, or what we know about the voting stations and contacting the attorney general and all these other people that the Bucks owner was able to get to in that short amount of time span. Imagine what can happen if all the owners are on the same board. Even Michael Jordan came into the fray to kind of start to bridge the gap with Chris Paul and the Players Association. So things are moving. They not only want, like, I think you can be a bigger voice if you're on the court versus sitting out. You have the mic in your face every single day. Just imagine if they didn't come back into the bubble. We wouldn't have this moment. So that's kind of how I view it.
Yeah. On that portion though, I kind of feel the reason why they did it, why they had to come up to the stop. And we know they ended up getting counsel later, right after that. And what came of that counsel is what kicked it back off. I don't think it's completely just salary. But you got to think, right before this started, you had the COVID and you had all these events going on. And a lot of the players did not want to go play to take focus off those events. And they have constantly been bringing it up in their
pressers,
their press conferences and stuff like this. And every time, it still seemed like we still calling out the same names we was calling out from day one. And then this happened. And they like, well, maybe our thoughts was right at the beginning that this is going to take away from that. Now, I think they went back and they got canceled and they said like everything's going to take a while, but the stances they are doing, like every day that somebody goes and watch that game, that Black Lives Matter is across there. They get to hear them doing these things. It's keeping it fresh on everybody's minds. Because I can tell you in other places, they're probably like, who don't pay attention to that or watch that, it's talked about less and less. This at least is keeping it fresh in people's minds. And hopefully that helps enact a change.
And before you jump back in, HUD, their action kind of spawned a lot of other reactions. It may have not been as big of a story, but the MLB, you had Naomi Osaka, you had the NHL. Like a lot of people have done things, small gestures to just take a pause and try to figure things out. So this to me was bigger than basketball. Like you've never seen a shutdown for things that are happening in society. So I think it was worth something. What comes of it, I don't know, because I only know some of the demands that they mentioned on TV. You know what I mean? The voting stations being one of the biggest highlights. But I think I got something like from the Ravens as well. And, I'll let you get to your point, but I'll pull up the Ravens mission statement. And that was like some of the most profound stuff that an organization has put out in terms of what they plan to do to get after what's going on in society. But I'll throw it back to you, HUD.
So first off, you both brought up phenomenal points. I don't want to be misinterpreted when I say I'm not downplaying what did. It's impactful. And like I said, that type of unity, I'm not saying there's not other races in basketball, but basketball is a predominantly Black sport. Is that a safe assumption? As far as players playing in the NBA.
Yes.
So as a Black community, there's not a lot of things that we have united on. It's unfortunate that we have had to unite over such malicious and just implorable acts. That's what has caused us to become united as a community. If you understand what I'm saying, that's not what you want to unite on. I would like us to unite because, hey, we're brothers and sisters and we should be helping each other regardless. So to see us come together for something, you got to take the meat and spit out the bones. You need to take what we can get at this point. The step that they took, it's impactful. Cash, you made some great points. You're right. MLB, the Mets walked off. NFL, some people canceled practices and they didn't do the San Diego Chargers. Instead of a scrimmage, they canceled the scrimmage and had a team meet where they sat down and talked. Countless things have happened. The Saints players put Jacob Blake tapes on their helmets, so instead of being identified as themselves, they got identified as this individual. the portion of it, what I'm saying is when they got salaries, they went back to playing. Of course, they got to go back to work. I understand that. This is your job. But we have always been a society of one step. When do we graduate to the next step? Or when do I open my own eyes and realize these one steps are starting to add up and need, and they are the second steps. While they may not happen consistently, they are the second steps. They just may not be happening in the time frame that I or somebody else may have liked them to happen. From the marching back in the 60s and 70s to where we are today, to what happened from this time to that time, from the first riots to what we got from those rioters and protesters, to the voting poll stations, to, I mean, there has been progress being made. But when do we get down to the point where we stop saying, damn it, why don't we stop making progress and just change? Why do we keep need to make progress when the problem is obvious? The problem is we got to stop hating on each other. Stop killing each other senselessly. Stop doing some of the things that we are doing. We have so many bigger problems in this country that we are not addressing. What happened to Jacob Blake is a travesty. The sad part to me, and the part that that cooks my grits, is that I watched the video of this young man getting shot, 7 times in the back?
7 times.
And then I'll watch a video of a Caucasian man literally tell the police officer, I'm going to kill you. You can't see my ID, throws his identification card on the ground, does whatever he wants. You know what happened? Absolutely nothing. I'll watch another video of a young man in Burbank who the officer tells him to get on the ground. He gets up and chases the police officer. Still alive. You see a gentleman who shoots 2 protesters and kills them. He's arrested, apprehended, no violence, no nothing. Now, the one job in this world I do not want right now is to be a police officer. Because for every good cop out there, boy, I tell you what, you got a tough life to get. I mean, y'all recorded more than bank vaults right now. But how is this double standard not being seen? And then you still have people in corporate America, you have people at your job, my job, who will say, why don't we keep saying all lives don't matter? Nobody's saying that you don't. But ladies and gentlemen, we got a problem in society that we keep trying to be blind to. Ray Charles can see what's going on. God bless the dead. But come on, man, we got to do something because this is getting sickening.
Yeah.
Now, you said Fred.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, real quick, one more thing.
That's the point. Like, I don't know the full case and what went on and like what the outcome of that going to be. But all I know is just like we shoot people or we're killing.
Going immediately to we're going immediately. I don't mean to cut you off, but I think, and I just want to say before it escapes me, man, is I think that cops are going way too quickly to deadly force.
Yeah.
Like you just as well. If he said he had a knife in his car, okay, cool. All right. But you could have easily tackled him, did whatever you need to do to apprehend him. You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to go immediately to shots? Why does my black skin offend and scare you so much? You know what I mean? It's just so many differences and people don't want to see it. Like HUD said, you know what I mean? A smear campaign happens after every last person that has died or gotten shot or been in some type of police brutality situation. The smear campaign starts right after it. If someone is involved with it, like as far as what's the young man's name? Kyle Rittenhouse. What happens immediately after that? It's a cover up.
Graffiti.
Yeah, cover up. They start showing all the great things about him. Oh, this person was troubled, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying approach that person with violence and approach this person with violence. No, I'm saying approach these people the same way as you would approach a black man or black woman or minority. That's what I want. Bring that person in safe and sound, man. Like, I know certain situations call for deadly violence. Absolutely. You're a cop. You're in the heat of the moment. But too often, I don't understand why it shoot first and ask questions later. You know what I mean? It's just difficult, man. It's so difficult that I'm numb to it. I'm so numb to it, brother. And it's not that I don't care. I'm just like, all right. I can't even feel no more. You know what I mean? I can't even allow myself to feel because you know what? 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, unfortunately, another family is gonna go through it again. I don't feel sad anymore, y'all. I'm angry every single time I see it. I'm angry. I don't feel sadness no more. I'm angry that we're still at this point that people still have these racist views. You're not going to change them. You're not going to change them. I know you had something, Hud. I'll let you jump in there, man.
I think you have a great point, but I'm gonna give you two pieces. First off, Prez, you asked a question earlier, and I'm gonna answer that question to you. You asked, how do you feel being back in America? I feel like, first off, I feel like having a firearm is not a luxurious requirement. I feel like with the 3 young men that I'm raising, and we've talked about it, we've had the conversation even since I've been home. Like, son, I said, I'd love to tell you compliance will get you through. You can't say that. That's scary.
You can't even tell him to comply.
I can't tell my son compliance will get you through. All I can tell him is do what you're supposed to, try your best, try not to make no aggressive sudden movements, and we gonna pray that it works out. That's the best I can tell you at this point. I'm not going to tell you to be belligerent. I'm not going to tell you to be disrespectful. I'm not going to tell you to do anything to antagonize or to escalate the situation because you don't know how that situation goes. But I can't promise you if you do everything that he says that it's going to work out. That's petrifying, gentlemen. And I don't even know where to go with that. You made a point, Cash. You said, when you see it no more, you are numb to it. It's like when you work in the hospital long enough, you see enough people pass away. When somebody passes, you no longer feel sad. Not that you're happy at all, but
and that's a terrible place to be.
It's a part of what you see and what you're accustomed to. So when somebody dies on the news, it's like, oh, somebody else was killed. Oh, this happened again. The crazy part is, I'm going to tell you both a scary story. Once upon a time, we didn't have camera phones. There's a scary story. You know how it's a scary story? Because we only know this stuff now because people record it and you see it. You know how much of this happened and wasn't recorded? We didn't see it? Oh, the young man jogging only happened because somebody recorded. If somebody didn't record this happening right now, you think they would have released that? Once upon a time, we didn't have camera phones. There is the scariest Stephen King thriller I could ever tell you. Dun, dun, dun.
What's even scarier, Hud, is now we even have camera phones and things are still the way they were. There's still some type of legal loopholes to jump in and out of being right and wrong. Like you see excessive force when you see it in so many of these cases, like Breonna Taylor, like, yo, bro, this is why I'm saying I'm numb to it. Like these things are taking so long to happen. This woman was just in her house minding her business, not a criminal. Where's the justice for Breonna?
And here's the sad part with even worse than with Breonna Taylor. How long I have seen actors, athletes, regular people, Facebook, military. I've seen people bait you into stuff like music videos, talk about Breonna Taylor. And we still have seen no action. But yet, if there was something going the other way, if you want to prosecute R. Kelly, we got a special. And I'm not justifying anything that he's done at all. That's not where I'm going with this. What I'm saying is that when there is an issue that you need to address, we can delay this out all day long. But if it's something that to vilify, do something else, we got no problem doing that. Boom, let's get it. Yeah, we can make a Netflix series.
Make a good point,
I tell you what,
that's a very good point.
I'm gonna tell you something. Netflix, and listen, Netflix exec, I'm about to put you on your best series. You want to make billions? I want you to make your next series on all the stories that why is the delayed prosecution on all these lives that have been taken. Make a series on that. You want to make money? I guarantee it to get watched. because y'all make series on everything else. But yet, tell me why there's been a delay on Breonna Taylor. Tell me why there's been a delay on the officers on all these other situations. The officers with George Floyd. What happened? Where we at?
Yeah.
Anybody got an update?
You see incremental updates. I'm not saying nothing has happened, but they're so slow that we hit the next news cycle of what has happened. Like, we can't go 1 to 2 months without some brother or sister being shot publicly. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man.
You make a very good point, Hud. I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, I'm like, I remember the OJ trial. That was on the news.
Oh,
front
everywhere,
every day. It's the top of the news.
Okay, real quick. I'm glad you said OJ trial, and I'm gonna show you a quick societal thing. And Cash, you said today we want to hit it, and I really want to hit this because you made a good point. OJ trial. I was in the 7th grade. And I remember this vividly like it was yesterday. Because, I ain't that old. I just graduated like a day or two ago.
You old. Go ahead, though.
Our science teacher let us watch the verdict being read in class. And we was in class, and they came up, and they said, O.J. Simpson not guilty. And the people in the class had mixed feelings. And me being the young Hud, I'm like, not guilty, cha-cha-cha. I was just excited. I didn't even really know what it was. My teacher got so upset, she suspended me. She sent me to the principal's office because he was not guilty, and I was excited about it. And I didn't even understand at that point in my life, why are you so mad? They just said he was not guilty. Yeah. But she felt a certain type of way about this, and myself and every other Black student in her class that got excited got kicked out. Now, at this time in 7th grade, I just didn't want my mama to find out, so I was more worried about that than the underlying factors of what's going on.
Yeah. But something was played on TV, but she couldn't actually facilitate the convo on how to get past that.
But she was so upset because, to her mind, that person was guilty, and anybody who celebrated that was wrong. But it just goes. I'm just saying, this is the educator. How much of this is happening in today's world of what's going on that these people don't understand? People will get on Facebook behind these keyboards and type and be internet thugs and activists. The problem that we are having, gentlemen, and this whole wrap up is we keep ignoring the biggest elephant you've ever seen in your life that's in this room. And we can't even look around it no more. Like Ken said, because guess what? Unfortunately, sad news, 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, mark it down. It'll happen again. And I hate to be so pessimistic, but I hate not to be realistic. I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah. So you were speaking on unity. When the last time we had unity? I can definitely speak on the last time I known as a community, the black community, Black African American community, where we didn't had a unified experience. And that was with Black Panther. When that movie came out, it was a joyous occasion. Like, I know we done had like, they're gonna say, oh, he ain't the first superhero. Blade is an anti-hero. He wasn't a real hero. You have a Black superhero up on screen. And I can tell you, like, my kids, they walk around with the Superman suits, and they done had the Spider-Man suits, but like Batman, whatever you want to name. But the joy they had when they seen that on the screen, somebody actually representing us. And not only that, not representing us as the main superhero, the whole cast around that, powerful Black women, able to hold their own.
Intelligence, the sciences, the math, STEM, that whole thing was prevalent in that movie.
Yeah. Everybody could stand on their own within that, and everybody propped each other up. So even to the point, spoiler, when it come to the end, he seen his faults in the ways that he went, even against the villain, and wanted to bring him still back in the fold, to bring him in, seeing how he can still utilize and uplift, yeah. And then now we lost Chadwick Boseman, the person who played so many so many of our Black heroes.
Yeah, man. What Jackie Robinson? What's the other one that he had? Right before
Thurgood Marshall,
Thurgood
Thurgood
Marshall,
Marshall. He was in Draft
James
Day.
Brown.
James Brown. So like he has so much
21
coming.
Bridges.
The most recent one, Five
What
the
was the
Bloods.
Cleveland Browns movie? He was up in there. He didn't play Jim Brown, but
Was
he
it
was in
Draft
the movie.
Day? Was it Draft Day?
No. Express.
Okay. But yeah, like it's just, man, I was floored, man. And again, on the heels of everything, you had Kobe's birthday that just passed. Then you had Mamba Day. Then you had the stuff with Jacob Blake, and then now this. Black folks is going through it, man. You know what I mean? And we still have to be resilient and strong. But kind of what I take away from Chadwick Boseman, man, is just how that dude carried himself with so much style and grace. You know what I mean? I was watching like a bunch of different clips on how people were so happy. Remember that one little meme hug where that one kid was doing that little dance on the chair or whatever? That was because that whole class got tickets to go see Black Panther.
Black Panther.
You know what I mean? So remember that? Like, so it's just like the joy that he had in kids' eyes. And hell, we was stepping out like we was going to the club, bro. We was down in in our African garb and all that stuff, man, going there Wakanda forever. And people had so much pride with it. Like as an adult, I had a lot of pride with it. I think I've seen that movie about 20 times, bro. Like 20 times, no joke, since it's come out, because you just like to see it, man. You just like to feel good about everything. And then, the thing that hit me hard was like, damn, he was working throughout this whole thing with cancer, man. You know what I mean? Like he had cancer while he was filming the movie, you know what I mean? And all the things that it took for him to get through that movie and not start replaying like all the things he was saying and how difficult it was doing his own stunts and how demanding the movie was. And then he was in another Marvel movie, in other movies he's done, and it was like, damn, like I took something from it as far as being sad, but I also took like, damn, man, you got to live every day like it's your last. And even if, you feel like you're on your last days, give some more, because that's exactly what he did, man. That's exactly what he did. And it was just, it's moving for me to see that, he was handling it and just kept on moving, kept on doing his thing. And then, when those pictures came out a couple months ago showing that he had lost a lot of weight and we were seeing him in, and then we thought it was for a role.
Yeah, everybody thought it was for a movie role.
Yeah.
That's what I just assumed. I mean, we'd have seen it with Christian Bale and all these.
And then 50 Cent in that other movie where 50 lost all that weight or whatever. I thought it was just for a role. I had no idea that, he was suffering. You know what I mean? And I won't say in silence. He just probably wanted to keep it private, as most people would. But
I think he didn't want to bring it down. I'm making assumptions, but I mean, I would feel like the reason it didn't happen was just he didn't want to bring everybody down. He knows the roles he done played, the image he done projected, and to see another Black hero at this point just die.
Yeah,
amongst all this other stuff that's happening, where we seeing our fathers die, our brothers, our cousins constantly.
Tough loss, man.
So first off, I want to give a couple of kudos to a couple of people. First off, the people on his team, to keep his business. It's so rare to go through that for so many years, and for people to not have a clue is truly impressive. Nowadays, in the world of TMZ and this other stuff, most celebrities, they can't fart without somebody else knowing that they did it. So that's truly impressive of his team, and my condolences goes out to his team and his family and his loved ones, because I know this has got to be an excruciating time for them. Chadwick Boseman, gentlemen, we give people status sometimes a little too fast, I think. Sometimes we make people iconic when they haven't been iconic. That's not the case right here. Chadwick Boseman is truly one of the biggest figures in the African American community because of what he's done and the roles he's played. The Black Panther, humongous. But let's go back. 42, Jackie Robinson, that movie, not only was that movie phenomenal that he played in, but number one, I forgot that it was Chadwick Boseman playing in the movie. I really thought I was watching Jackie Robinson going through the struggle. Not to mention what that movie stood for in sports and in barriers. And I want you to look at the times that we're in and think about how impactful, like put the meaning in the situations and everything we got going on and look what he played in. But he didn't stop there. You look at the Thurgood Marshall role, think about the barriers and the meanings and what he played and what situations that we are. Everybody looks at James Brown as just a fool and the guy who played and danced. But James Brown broke down a lot of barriers in the music world for Blacks. And I want you to look at what he played and look what he played there. And if you start to look long enough, and I'm not even going to get on the Black Panther just yet. If you look at what he did as an actor, because as an actor, you choose roles. You get a chance to say, no, I don't want to play that. My man took on roles that exalted his people, that exalted what his people did in the past to help move his community and his race forward. Not everybody does that. Some people just take the flashy role to just be cool and do all this other good stuff. Now, Black Panther. Black Panther, you are correct, Perez. That was probably one of the most united times you've seen Black people. People did step out like it was a club. Dashikis and raps, and people was lined up to go see it. People went and seen it more than one time. I think it was actually Marvel's best performing movie. I think it outperformed the Avengers. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so we don't fact check. We ain't fact check since day one, so we ain't gonna start doing it now. So you know what? It was enough.
I will say this: it crossed $1 billion, and that was the first Black film to cross $1 billion. A black director, Black cast, all that. So that was a first.
And in that movie, I'm not even gonna step on his role. Perez, you made a good point. It showed so many different things. Black people being smart in medicine and other things. I'm gonna tell you something else it did. It showed how beautiful the Black woman is without weave, makeup, everything. It just showed the true powerfulness of a Black woman just being who you are. It introduced you to Wakanda, and in our community, especially in the sports world, when you've made it, when your damn name becomes an adjective. In football, when you've been mossed. When you take a piece of paper right now and you ball it up and you shoot into a basket,
Kobe,
you become an adjective. How many times did you see this emoji? Or you saw people walking down the hall, and when you start talking about a peaceful place, you start saying Wakanda forever, and people knew exactly what you meant. That is sign. That is so when we talk about iconic levels, what he did with that movie, he was already up there for me. But that took him to a whole nother stratosphere of iconism. I don't know if that's a word, but y'all know how I roll.
That's your one. That's your one.
I think okay. Whew. So he was more than a loss, man. We lost a figure that cannot be replaced. I don't know if they ever got a chance to finish Black Panther 2. I pray to sweet baby Jesus that they did. If they didn't, let it go, Marvel.
No. I don't want to see it end with one Black icon. I want to continue to no. Hear me out here. Because what he didn't want to just have it. I don't think he would have wanted it to just begin and end with him. We want to see this again and again and again and start making this a normal thing. We don't want this. I don't think he will want it to be a one and done type of situation. Is he going to be an iconic character and live in infamy based on, or not infamy, probably the wrong word, but just be up there as far as characters based on passing? Yeah, but there's been thousands of Batmans, thousands of Supermans, and it just kept on going. So I'll be damned if that stops. I want to see the next great black actor step up to the plate, because he knows what he's getting into, whoever that next person is, and we expect greatness. We expect a great film. So I don't want it to stop at that. I want it to continue on and pay homage to what he started and continue to trailblaze whoever that may be.
Yep, the door is open. Don't let that door close. Don't let that door close. They give us these roles and keep moving. I don't want to go on this topic though, because I don't want to like talk about this. I think it don't need to go down this range. I don't even want people to start speculating. Well, who's gonna replace him? Like, no, let the moment live. Let's respect the man in this spot and give him his praise.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to go down the road. When I'm saying let it go, I agree with you. It does need to keep Black actors getting into that light, because you gave Black kids a superhero that they can really relate to. Blade, like you said, some people weren't even old enough to watch Blade. They didn't know if Blade was like a Blade after dark. Who knows? What I'm saying by let it go, because what typically tends to happen in most movies is that when they replace such a great actor, they don't pay homage and put somebody in the role who does the role justice. Now, they can do due diligence. There are some high quality African American actors out there who I think can do the role, and I just gotta hope that the studios do a good job of casting and do the right thing. But I don't want to see nothing silly. Like, we're not gonna start throwing our names.
I don't think so.
Let's not, like I said, let's not even go down there. That'd be we'll tackle that road. We'll tackle that down the road somewhere.
To bring it back home, this was not only a loss for the community, it was a loss for the old heads, young heads, new heads, and it's a loss for future kids, man. They didn't get a chance to see this man live in person acting. But the beautiful part is they can go back, and that's the beautiful part about film. They can go back and watch the work that this man has done. Honestly, like by wall behind you, you got some powerful people up there. It's a place up there for the Black Panther, man. And
we gonna make it happen. We gonna make it happen.
Once I get the Drico studio set up, we're gonna find a place for him.
And I forgot, I forgot to even mention it. Not that it makes a big deal, but like that movie meant a lot to me, and as far as just showing Black unity, Black love, or whatever. I went and got a damn tattoo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like one of them things to where I felt everything that came with that movie, man. It wasn't just for, like you said, it wasn't just for young people. It wasn't just for old people. It was for everybody. It was for everybody. And to see that was greatness, man. He moved the needle forward. And, he opened the door, man, for kids to see a Black superhero and to continue to see Black superheroes. So he paved the way. He did a lot in his young 43 years. And like Prez said, man, we can kind of go on and on with this, man. But yeah, man, rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, man. We're missing a legend, man, because he was a legend in the making. I'll just say that.
Hey, you know what? We don't usually do this because you don't do this on podcasts, man. Hey, let's have a real talk moment of silence for that dude, man. Mukana fell.
Yes, sir.